Hello everyone, this is a Dell XPS 14 touchscreen Intel Core Ultra 7 series, 32GB RAM with a 1TB SSD and a 4050 in it. And it's worth about $2,500. And we're going to tear it down and take a look inside and see what's upgradable and what isn't upgradable. I can't wait to take a look at this for the first time and get to share it with you guys. Let's take our first look at the Dell XPS that has no trackpad. It is very interesting. There's like no trackpad. It has a trackpad. The whole thing is like a big trackpad. It's actually works really well for being a big giant trackpad after I used the laptop for a little, but it definitely looks very strange and it looks really hard to repair. You probably have to do a whole top case keyboard replacement, including the trackpad and the keyboard together in one big part if this part had to get replaced in the future. But since it's so new, the part isn't even available yet, unless someone had one with a board issue already. And we would hope that wouldn't be happening to computers so soon. You never know. We're their guinea pigs of all these devices that are being released, and we don't really know what the outcome could be. They could be having a heating issue or some sort of circuitry issue with the board. Who knows? There's a lot of power packed in this little machine, so it is all an experiment. I'm not quite sure how long the computer would last, but it should last, I would say, at least a good 5 years. But we'll grab our T5 screwdriver and unscrew all the screws from the bottom, and then I'll get a little bit zoomed in for you guys so you can kind of see it better, and just put the screws in an orientation on your screw tray just as if it was out of the laptop, so then you can put them back in exactly where you took them out. I want to introduce you to this video sponsor before we get too far into the teardown. This video sponsor, DriveSavers, and this is a hard drive. It is definitely broken and it needs a data recovery. Along with this phone was unrepairable and has something board level wrong with it. And DriveSavers is definitely the place you want to send your repairs that you fail to repair and you need to do a data recovery. Use my reference code to get a free estimate today and see if they can get the data. I'll leave details in my description below. Back to the teardown. Just so you know, you gotta unscrew the screws lefty-loosey. I figured you guys already knew that, but I just thought it'd be funny to say, because I don't know what to say during these quiet times of just taking things apart. Alright, so now we can grab out our metal pry tool, and we'll just pry at the very bottom of it with our metal pry tool and carefully stick it in. And try not to stick it in too far because you don't want to cause a short inside the device. What I found is just prying down at the bottom right corner or left, depending on if you're left-handed or right-handed, then I guess it doesn't really matter. But once you got the sides off, then you can give it a lift, and it has clips holding it down, and there are no hidden screws underneath the little rubber feet like some laptops have. So we'll just find the spot that it has tension in it and then lift it up, and then you can just lift it off just like that. Now we got to find the battery connection. The battery is somewhere. It actually is right here in the middle, and I'll get zoomed in on it and you can see it looked like it was actually labeled. It said BAT on it by the board, so then I was able to figure out where the battery actually is. It appears that the battery is held down by a PH000 screwdriver or screw that needs to get removed, and then just one of them, and then it swings over. I'll show you in just a second. Let's get it unscrewed and we'll get this battery disconnected. I was a bit nervous about this because I haven't seen a Dell laptop with a battery connector covered up by a little bracket before, and also the connector looked a little bit newer than what I'm used to. But I've been doing repairs for over 5-6 years now, and I kind of know a thing or two. But it looks like you pull down on the pull tab that is on the battery part, pull it down towards the battery, and kind of slide it down, and then you can lift it off at the same time. And I was really nervous about this because I didn't want to break it. It's brand new. But, alright, got it disconnected, and that's how it comes off. Now we'll take out the SSD. As you can also see, you can't upgrade the RAM in this bad boy. And so we'll grab it out with a P000 screw and this bracket. You slide it off just like so. And then it has this little tiny SSD inside, and it is a 1 terabyte, and it's not like a great brand or anything. It's like Heinrichs or something, some Chinese or Korean brand. SK Heinrichs. Hynix, I can't say that right. I don't know. But we're going to put the Samsung Evo in place, and luckily it can still fit. And I think I have a little bracket that I could put over it to keep it cool and everything so it's not overheating and causing it to fail. But the bracket ended up not fitting, and I got some putty and put that in instead. And the reason why I put this SSD in is that I wanted it to boot up to its OS on it with all its stuff on it. But it ended up not working because the driver for the SSD isn't installed on the BIOS firmware of the device. So you would have to probably boot up to a flash drive and repair it with command prompt and install the driver for it to work. But we just ended up doing a data transfer instead of putting this thing in. But it was fun to take it apart, and so we could take a look in the inside and see that you can't upgrade the RAM anymore in a lot of these newer laptops, and that's what I learned about it in one of the other laptops I just tore apart recently. Check out my other videos and like and subscribe for more videos like these. I just wanted to say, if you are installing a new SSD, like you want to put a 2 terabyte in, you could do that, but when you're installing Windows, you'll have to install the driver for it to recognize the drive. And you'll have to go to the manufacturer's website and download that driver to the flash drive that you're installing Windows on, or with. So just so you're aware of those sort of things, because the drive might not show up if it isn't installed already and it didn't boot up like it was supposed to for us. So I want to make sure that it discloses that information for everyone. But then one downside about this 14-inch laptop is that you can't have two M.2 NVMe's inside the computer, and you also can't upgrade or downgrade RAM or reseat the RAM if you're having an issue with that part, which is a fail for Dell.